preparing for marriage. So they are afraid to enter. Why? Because what they saw happen to somebody, they don't want to see it in their lives. There are many men, they have regretted getting married to their wives. If you meet many men today, about 100%. Now Busani said, are you happy with your wife? Would you still marry your wife? They will look at you and tell you, no, I will change the wife. There are many women who are married today. If they come back, now Busani said, are you still going to marry your husband? They will look at you and tell you, hey, wait, or your mistake. And there is this misconception that you are not responsible. Now do HB now warrior, not just your koshini. Do fear bini and warrior. Everybody want to get married. When they are praying and the marriage is not coming, then it's like but ladies and gentlemen, I came to tell you that you must prepare well before you enter into the thing we call marriage. Else, going you go, but coming you come soon. Marriage is a calling, and you must understand that there are prices to pay for your calling. You don't settle down or you don't decide you want to marry because you are of age or you think you are old. No, you must prepare before you enter. And the problem why and there are many divorces is because many men and women who entered into marriage and never prepared. Now you're showering, sir. Now you're wedding, now baby. Now when you now you're Thanksgiving. So God, remember me like these people. The moment you say remember me, you remember. But problem so God must remember you with the problem. And you're cautious. Yeah, and menu Kenya system. Don't worry. Say you want to be any economy about now you see now me cover now you hello baby. Come on. Oh, see, our marriage can be sweet. Sister, sometimes how you see yourself in the mirror can deceive you. Come on, marriage. When you get the right person, it's sweet. Even with the right person, there will still be bad road. Why? Because in marriage, nobody can ever marry a perfect person. What I think it is perfect for me may not be good for you. Therefore, in marriage, we must understand that two imperfect people coming together to make the marriage perfect. Yes, you say, calling one. So when you are called, you prepare. Some 40 days and 40 nights, you know. Some many years and you see sweet pain. And the year Bobra and you started ministry in the way I walk down them 40 days. Make catch them and say 40 days no co with sin or bebano. Now, man, I have been able to do something with my 40 days. So sometimes people think that the fact that their friends are ahead and now there are rings on their finger makes them better than them. Ladies and gentlemen, thank God you are not married now. Why? Because God is giving you an opportunity to prepare well. In your delayance, it is an opportunity to wait on God. To us, to wait is wasting, but to God, to wait is preparation. In my days of waiting, when I am waiting on God to perform a miracle, by dropping my partner, as I wait on God, God wants me to work on myself. When you are in your moment of preparation, the first thing to work on is your bad habits. You don't know how to cook, it's a bad habit. Laziness can be a bad habit. A woman who cannot wake up early to put things in order, bad habits. A woman who does not know how to clean, bad habits. I just say me wadia and I'm not wash. Hey, our dear, when you be scratching bibia. Why? So because sometimes you think that the other party must do the washing. One other habit that must be dealt with is the way you speak and you talk. When you musami your phone, kasa, you can't see your fire, sir. Yeah, to me, sir, because even animals can change. So if you think you want to enter into marriage so that marriage will make you happy, if you don't take your frustration, will be your father. And I'm saying this again, in marriage, nobody can change. It will take only the grace of God. Who you are now is what you enter into marriage with. Bad habit. Bad habit. If it is not dealt with, even when you marry, you will flex. Why? Because you see, what you cannot overcome as a youth, you will not be able to overcome as a man. Men makes the vow, but in heaven, covenant is established. Men will go before God. A pastor stands here, myself and my wife stands here, or a lady and a man stands here, and say, I, Kwaku, Jesse, I do take Akosia, Donkoh as my Namaka a vow. And this vow goes for the two of you. You are trying to say, I believe in you, you believe in me. I'm not going to disappoint you. But before God and man, as we stand here and we are making vows, in heaven, we are establishing a covenant with God. So when we stand here, we submit to a pastor. Before the pastor, as we exchange the vow, in heaven, heaven is recording covenant. And listen, God is a covenant-keeping God, and covenants must not be broken. In other words, divorce is not one of the things heaven accepts. I am sorry. Look, according to Paul, you must go back and reconcile with your husband or wife. And then they say, Jesus, in heaven, are we going to get married again? And then Jesus, we remember that in the days of Moses, Moses said that anybody who becomes stubborn to his partner, was say a divorce, and the divorce letter. And then Jesus looked at the Pharisees and said, look, in the days of Moses and in the days when God created the heaven and the earth, it was not so. But in the days of Moses, because of the stubbornness of their heart, Moses made it so. So divorce is not part of the Bible. And that is why when Adam and Eve sinned against God, God decided to drive both out of the garden, not one out of the garden. Why? Because the moment you marry, the two of you are one. And when you are walking in the spirit, you are one. In the eyes of men, you are two. And can two people work together except they agree? So marriage, we make one. Gossip, we are two. And in marriage, when one wants to separate from one, it's impossible. So God is saying that when you marry, one must not detach from one because it doesn't work. To me, one year saying you want a frame. Zero crowd does not exist. So in marriage, when you enter, divorce is not an option. Why? Because when you divorce, because you are breaking the covenant with God, the anger of God follows you like this. And I love it. Paul say, anybody who divorces, nobody should marry him or her. Because anybody who marries him or her, you have helped the divorce. And the anger of God will come over you too. You should have prepared before entertaining her by putting the ring. But now the ring is on. You have entered and the woman doesn't know how to talk. Where do you start from? Waka. Conquer your insecurities. Why? Because if you are insecure by yourself, you cannot be secure with another man. Even you don't trust yourself. How much more trusting somebody's son or daughter? Dating a woman who doesn't trust you now, dating a man who doesn't trust you now, break the relationship. Because for me, I value trust than love. Love cannot function without the pillars of trust. If this insecurity is not dealt with, on I'm Chrome now, friend, no one found was sending message. Why are you not picking my call? Where are you? You see, I am crossing your man. To even date or marry and send your partner a message and say, where are you? In crossing your man. I think you were going to send a message and say, how are you? I hope you are safe at where you are. That is maturity. But you, where are you means that already you are suspecting me. See? But because you can't say I suspect you, you are saying, where are you? You are looking for location. Why do you want location? You are a bushman. Get rid of selfishness. When you are single, all you have to think is about yourself. You pay your own bills. You buy whatever you want. You do whatever you want. But when you get married, you have to put the needs of your spouse and your family at first. When you are selfish, even going to a boutique to do shopping for your wife or husband, it's a problem. You do a lot of thinking before it will be done. You become economist at once by force. A man or a woman who cannot sacrifice a penny in a relationship or in marriage is not a person who is ready to marry. Why? Because marriage goes with giving. And a man or a woman who cannot give today is a man and a woman who will never give tomorrow. What you can't conquer when you are single is something you can't conquer when you are double. Preparing towards marriage, give more than you receive. You must be dedicated giving. You must sacrifice giving. But oh dear, oh yourself is so much that you want the other party to give and then you relax. You don't deserve to be married. Pride must be dealt with. Almasua is killing the church. Pride is killing the church. There are some of you, even though you are single now, you don't even know how to say, I am sorry. Say, pass or no. You see, when you are single and you don't know how to say, I'm sorry to your fiancé or fiancée, don't marry, because in marriage, I am sorry becomes our national anthem. You can be a pastor to the church, but don't forget you are a husband in the house. Even though she respects you as a father, a pastor, even to her own soul, to her own Christian life, you must also understand that you are a husband to her and a father to your children. When you make mistakes, learn how to kneel down to say, I am sorry. Because a man who knows how to worship his wife knows how to contact God. If you are a man and you enter into marriage and you want to still display your ego, you are killing the marriage. If you are a woman, you enter into marriage without submission. Hey, no man want to entertain a chimpanzee in his house. Every woman single seated here, work on your emotions, work on your temper, and work on the way you think, especially how you talk through your thinking. One of the things every man cannot stand is a woman who talks above her emotions. Learn the value of commitment. When you say I am coming, come. When you say I will not come, when they send you messages, reply. What you can practice single, you can practice when you are double. Work on yourself. Practice self-discipline. Walk in the fruit of the Holy Spirit: love, joy, peace, self-control, meekness. Practice purity. When you are single and you are believing God for marriage, a life partner, you must practice it. Why? See, when you are single and you cannot control your sexual urge, when you marry, you will need God's grace. Control and manage your monetary affairs. Control it, manage it. When you are single and everything you see with your two eyes, you want to buy it without closing one, you have a problem, because when you marry, you'll be doing shopping that is unnecessary. Study God's idea of marriage. If you jump God's purpose for marriage, you are jumping into your own principles of marriage. Study God's way of marriage. So if you are preparing for marriage, once a liar is single, if care is not taken and grace does not come over your life, you will still remain a liar even when you are married. So in your days when you are waiting, when you are not married, whether you are dating, you have a fiancé or a fiancée, or you are not dating at all, you are single, it is an opportunity to work on yourself. And that is why I'm talking about preparation for marriage.